Hello everyone, my name is PaperNapkin, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Pokémon FireRed. In the last episode, I kind of left off on a cliffhanger as to which Pokemon I'm about to capture from my team. I did this just to build anticipation for today's episode, and because the one before was kind of long. So without further ado, let's find out what I've caught. And hopefully it's the one I had in mind. And yes, it definitely is. Shellder, oh, a level 21 Shellder, not too shabby. Shellder is a water and ice type Pokemon, and I really like ice type Pokemon, especially in Fire Red and Leaf Green, just because ice types have really good strengths and really good weaknesses, and in terms of type coverage, it adds so much to your team that another different type of Pokemon couldn't. And the fact that it's water also helps. I don't really have water type Pokemon, and I desperately needed one, and this will be a good addition to my team. I chose Shellder over other water type Pokemon. Mainly Poliwag, which evolved into Poliwhirl, and then eventually Poliwrath, which is a great water and fighting type Pokemon. But after what I had happen with Dixie, I don't really want to have a fighting type Pokemon at this point, and I really don't need one. And fortunately, I was able to capture Shellder in one go. Awesome! And I have the perfect nickname in mind, which won't make a lot of sense to you until you see the evolution of Shellder, but even then, it probably won't make sense. But I'm gonna name it Kane and place it in box 1. So yeah, in terms of other Pokemon that I could have chosen at this point, there's Seals. Come on, bag, don't go do that. Pokemon, there we go. Seal, which evolves into Dugong, is also another good ice type Pokemon, but unfortunately you can't get it until very much later on. So yeah, Shellder is gonna be a great addition to my team. I'm really excited. I don't think I've ever used a Shellder before, so it should be interesting. At this point, we're ready to go on to our next town, which is actually going to be Saffron City. As you can see, it's kind of in the central area, next to Celadon City, Lavender Town, Cerulean City, and even Vermilion City. So we have a different couple options of where we can go to get into the city. Probably the easiest for me will be going to Cerulean City and then just coming down here. But before doing so, I'm going to actually go over to Celadon City and do some stuff at the game corner. And I'll meet you guys there. Now that I'm back at Game Corner, time to show off my new team. I've replaced Batgirl and Snake for Ghost Bus and Kane, just because those two before weren't doing a whole lot. They were just taking up space on my team, and they didn't really have a whole lot of potential at this point. I picked up a couple things at Game Corner, like I mentioned, and first of which was Shadow Ball, which is the strongest ghost type attack in the game. Ghastly does learn it, although at level 35. I figured why wait when I could just pick it up now. It just took a little bit of grinding, but it was worth it, I think. Also, in terms of Kane, I picked up a Mystic Water item, which boosts water type attacks by 10%, and I also picked up Ice Beam, which is a really powerful ice type attack, which Kane would learn normally at level 50, which is just, you know, years and years away if you ask me. And I might not even get to that level if things don't go very well. I also taught it Water Pulse, which is the TM that we picked up from Misty, just because Kane didn't have a water type attack move. And before carrying onwards, I am going to be using a Water Stone on Kane to evolve it into its evolution. Alrighty, folks, here we go. And hopefully the Kane nickname will make more sense to a couple of people now, especially if you played through the Final Fantasy series. Hint, hint. Or it might not. Maybe it's just me that sees it. But I'll explain it. And as you can see, Kane has evolved into Cloyster. I chose the name Kane just because the purple shell really matches the purple armor of Kane from Final Fantasy IV, and you know, the spikes on the shell and stuff reminds me of Kane's lance as well. But now that we've done that, we can go on to the next area. And I mentioned there's different couple routes that we can go to for Saffron City. I'm gonna go with Cerulean City just because, you know, it lowers the encounter rate of like random Pokemon that we don't really have to worry about now, and minimizes the amount of trainers that we have to deal with, and it should just be faster in general. So we just come down to the bottom of Cerulean City, cut down this bush, which should be familiar to you, come down here past the Pokemon Daycare, and if we come in this building, if you remember, the guard wouldn't let us go by it before, but now that we have the hot tea that the old woman in Celadon City gave us, we can give it to him, he'll drink it down, he'll let us go past, and apparently he's going to give the tea to all the other guards that are blocking Saffron City. I don't know how that he does that, just because when I think of the hot tea, I think of it as like one packet or like one little, canister of hot tea. But nonetheless, we are in Saffron City, and as you can see, Team Rocket is all over the place. I know I mentioned the Team Rocket hideout in Celadon City was my least favorite place in Pokemon. I was definitely lying. I completely forgot about the Rocket place here, which is going to be an episode on its own. But before we get to that, if we come into here, we can get TM29, which is Psychic, which is a really, really strong attack. Not only does it do huge damage, it also has the chance of lowering the opponent's special defense. Because I don't really have a Psychic type Pokemon on my team, and I don't plan on getting one anytime soon, I'm going to go ahead and teach it to Ghost Bus, just because out of all my Pokemon, she is definitely going to have the highest special attack of all my Pokemon. And it also it adds more flexibility to her attack pool, which is always a bonus. I got rid of Spite. Spite is an interesting move in that it removes 2 to 5 PP of an opponent's attack, which is not great considering a lot of moves have 30 or 35 PP. So, and I don't really use it, so I'm just gonna ignore it. In here we have a fan club. There are a bunch of trainers talking about how much they love Pokemon. If we come up here, we have 2 gyms, though one of them is not a real gym. Even though it says gym, it is a gym, don't get me wrong, but it's not an official Pokemon League gym. And as you can see, the official one is blocked by Team Rocket, so we'll have to fight them before we can get in there. But if we come in here, the not so real gym, the fighting dojo, let's call it, you can see we have some karate type people ready to fight us. Though it is not an official gym, we don't get a badge from it. It's probably a great place to go to level up your Pokemon, especially if you have a Psychic type Pokemon or a Flying type Pokemon. Because we taught Psychic to Ghost Bus, I'm going to try and get her some experience here. I should point out that if a Pokemon that normally couldn't attack a Ghost type Pokemon uses Foresight, it can actually do damage to that Pokemon. So I'm going to switch into Hope. And the only types of attacks that can't really attack Ghost type Pokemon without Foresight or similar move is normal types and fighting type Pokemon. And interestingly, that means that normal type Pokemon can't be damaged by Ghost type moves either, which is a little strange because Ghost type attacks can do damage to fighting type Pokemon, which is a little, I don't know if that makes sense. That's kind of weird. You would think it would apply to both situations, and yeah, I don't know what Nintendo was thinking there. But now that Foresight is up, it lasts for the duration of the battle, so I don't really feel too confident about having a Ghost Bus in there and then switching into Hope. Just because, as you can see, Hope took some pretty decent damage from that friggin' Machop. And here we have a Primate, which is the evolved form of Mankey. If we had Dixie Kong still, this is what she would have been eventually. And, oh, this is gonna hurt. Please don't kill me. Well, that wasn't too bad, actually. Not too bad at all. But as you can see, a lot of the Pokemon here are already matching the level of our Pokemon, and in many cases they're a lot stronger. I didn't really anticipate them leveling up this slowly compared to the trainers, but there's not much I can do. I mean, I could fight more trainers, which I probably should start doing, just because if my Pokemon are underleveled, even if I'm, being strategic, ensuring I've got proper type compatibility, the chances of me losing a Pokemon are pretty high, especially if, a random crit comes into play. And, so yeah, I'm kind of torn on, what I should do, if I should do some grinding off screen, if I should just fight more Pokemon trainers, should I just, play it by ear. Let's see how much damage Shadow Ball does. And, yeah. Because at this point, losing a Pokemon, oh, it didn't do that much at all. But it did lose special defense. Oh, that's pretty good. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I've been pretty bad in the past about, because I kind of have this Pokemon team in mind now, and I'm being really selective on which Pokemon I capture. I've been pretty bad about catching new Pokemon that I don't want, especially, if they're not popular Pokemon. I should still do this just in case I do lose a Pokemon. And it'll help me get other items like, the item finder, which I've kind of mentioned quite a few times, but unfortunately I don't have, so I can't show off. And that's huge experience. You see how fast that thing shot up on the bar? Holy crap. Kind of scared me. Oh, almost 2 levels. That would have been awesome. But yeah, as you can see, if it doesn't use Foresight, it can't do anything to us. And if you have a flying type Pokemon, ghost type Pokemon, great place to level up. And at the end of this little fighting dojo, we actually get a Pokemon as a prize. But unfortunately, because I did say that I was going to accept these kind of Pokemon for my team, I won't be using it on my team. I will show it off, just might as well. And it kind of stings just because one of the Pokemon you can get happens to be my favorite fighting type Pokemon, dating back from the anime, but you'll see it later. I'll show the two options. But as you can see, Ghost Bus is doing some pretty good damage here, so I'm pretty happy with that. The Foresight is up, so play it safe again, switch into Hope, depending on what he sends out. Oh, I know what he's going to send out. Machoke. Yes, I'm going to definitely switch in, but I'm going to go into Ricky, just because I happen to know this Machoke has a certain move called Revenge, which, if used after your previous Pokemon faints, does pretty crazy damage. So hopefully I can kill it, or just not take too much damage from it. And I mean, it's level 32, so that thing's pretty beastly. Oh, but it decides not to use it, so no figure. Yeah, Return is definitely an interesting move. Not Return. What was I going to call it? I forget what it's called at this point now. Revenge, there we go. So now I don't think it's going to do too much. Holy shit, I'm lying. It did a heck of a lot of damage. I don't know if it lasts for like one turn after your Pokemon faints, or if you can use it during the entire battle. I would assume it's just for the one or two turns, but I could be wrong. Getting pretty low on hit points, but let's finish off with this guy here. Take your shoes off. Probably not a good idea, just because I do have smelly feet. You're probably asking me, like, Paper, why are you talking about smelly feet now? But, you know, it's an important thing to talk about. It, you know, affects a lot of people, and a lot of people don't want to talk about it. It makes them uncomfortable. But I feel we should address this here now. What can I say? You know, feet get sweaty, feet get smelly. What can you do? You can wear clean socks, make sure you wash your feet. I've heard of people putting their shoes into the freezer if they smell bad. The idea behind that is that you're, you know, killing the bacteria and whatnot. I tried it once before, didn't really work, so I don't know if I just didn't put them in long enough or if it's just not something that works. And yeah, I think I'm going to stop the talk about the feet now, just because I know a lot of people out there aren't comfortable talking about feet. I know a couple of my co-workers are pretty put off by the idea of feet, and just the idea of, you know, taking your socks off kind of makes them freak out and run away, which is kind of a useful technique if you don't want to talk to them. But I'm not encouraging anyone by any means, you know, take your socks off in public and like, oh, I don't want to talk to you anymore, go away. You know, be civilized. Though it would be pretty funny. And as you can see, Ghostbust's already level 20, which is pretty good considering she was level 18. Hopefully she can catch up a bit more. And that didn't really do a whole lot, but I don't have Nightshade, so just whittle it down, might as well. I'm not sure what level Ghostbust levels up, or evolves rather. I think it's 25, maybe 28, so hopefully that'll come sooner than later. And really, I'm not doing a whole lot. Come on, Ghostbust, let's see that action. Critical hit, come on. Whoa! Whoa, look at that! I'm like a psychic now, I can predict things. Oh wow, that was pretty impressive. And that was pure skill, folks. Don't even try to say, oh, you know, random number generator or whatnot. That was all me. I knew it was gonna happen. And Ghostbust's level up, trying to learn Confuse Ray, which is a pretty good move. I'm gonna get rid of Nightshade. Nightshade's a decent attack move, but it only does damage based on what level you are. So if you're level 21, it's always going to do 21 damage. If you're level 100, it'll do 100 damage, which may seem like a lot, but in a lot of situations, it's not. But up next, we have the Karate Master, but I think we'll take him on in the next episode of Let's Play Pokemon FireRed. My name is PaperNapkin. Take it easy, folks.